this special Sports Center. I am Nick Rice, and we have a lot on tap here. Wild Card Weekend is coming up, and we have a lot on tap, so let's get right to these wild card matchups. Obviously, we have my San Diego Chargers traveling to Pittsburgh to take on a pretty hot Steelers team right now. And a tough matchup for the Chargers. In the other AFC matchup, we have the Dolphins traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans, who have been cooled off ever since their 5-0 start. You must be very concerned as a Titans fan, the fact that they are 4-7 in their last games after the 5-0 start. Very concerning for Tennessee. And also going over to the NFC, we have the Rams and Buccaneers. Hot offense, hot defense. Who wins? We'll have to wait and see. And in the last matchup, we have the Cowboys and the Cardinals, and what should be a good one in Dallas. So those are your 4 wildcard matchups, and let's turn it over to the third member of our crew, who's joining us on the phone right now, Jim Cantori from the Weather Channel, who has a lot more on the weather in these 4 wildcard matchups. So Jim, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Nick. The biggest weather factor will obviously be in Pittsburgh as the Steelers host the Chargers, and as we all know, San Diego really tends to struggle in extreme weather. This Chargers team will have a monumentally hard task up ahead as Pittsburgh is expecting severe snow flurries and temperatures in the low 20s with wind chill around -10 degrees Fahrenheit for Sunday's game. Not good news for Chargers fans. That sends you right back to the 81 Bengals game, and not good news for San Diego. But in other AFC matchup, the Tennessee Titans is the host here for the Dolphins-Titans game, and we are expecting pretty pleasant temperatures, believe it or not, for this time of year, with sunny skies and temperatures around 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Now over in the NFC, St. Louis will travel to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. And Nick, I have never seen such a perfect matchup for these two teams. Not only will it be sunny, but the temperatures are expected to be in the low 70s. Florida weather is on tap here over in Tampa Bay. And for our last matchup, obviously, the Cowboys and Cardinals will be playing indoors in Arizona. So these teams will be playing in perfect dome weather. And Nick, wild matchup here will be on tap for Saturday and Sunday's games. Nick, right back up to you.
Thanks, Jim. And now that we have a clear picture on how these games are going to go down as far as weather, let's tune it over to our second analyst, Phil Nunziata, who will give you, right now, the winners and losers of these wildcard matchups. Dream Season analyst Phil Nunziata will break it all down for you. Take a look.
Alright, thank you, Nick. Well, the playoffs are finally here, and there's a wild week of wildcard games upon us. The first one, the Rams will travel down to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. This should be quite a difficult one. I would normally pick the Rams in this situation, but seeing how we performed last week against the 49ers, he's going to face a similar, if not better, defense coming up this weekend. So I had to give this one to the hometown Tampa Bay Bucs. In our second game this week, the Miami Dolphins travel to Tennessee to take on the Titans, where I think the Dolphins are going to have a very good day. They might not be undefeated like they were back in 1972, but they come out of this one with the win. In our second AFC wildcard game of the weekend, the San Diego Chargers travel to Heinz Field to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers offense has been struggling as of late. I expect San Diego Chargers to come up big in this clutch moment, and I expect their defense to play lights out. In our last wildcard matchup of the weekend, we have the Arizona Cardinals going to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. I wish I could stand here and say that the Arizona Cardinals have any chance at all defeating the Dallas Cowboys. But being the Eagles fan that I am, I cannot give the Dallas Cowboys any credit. So to do it for me, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jeremy Ryan Teston.
The Dallas Cowboys will defeat the Arizona Cardinals in this week's wild card matchup.
Thanks, Nick. Back to you.
Welcome back to Sports Center. I'm Nick Rice. The votes are in, and this year's Pro Bowl should be one of the best ever in the Dream Season to date, really. And I'm ready to break down this All-Pro roster. This is stacked with lots of talent. And let's start over with the AFC. Quarterbacking the AFC is none other than Chargers quarterback Dan Fouts. He rated number 7 overall in the NFL on the top 10 countdown, and with his 4,250 yards passing, it's no wonder he's our starter at quarterback. At running back for the AFC, we have none other than Jamal Lewis. He had rushed for over 1,500 yards and has scored 14 touchdowns to go along with his 2 receiving touchdowns. No wonder he's our starting halfback. At wideout, we have a Patriots duo that will be catching passes in this year's Pro Bowl. Wes Welker and Randy Moss will be our starting receivers, and when you look at this stat sheet, everything leaps at you when you look at these guys. Together, these receivers have caught over 190 passes and have scored 15 touchdowns. Both have over 1,000 yards receiving, and when you look at this statistics for these teams, there's no surprise why they are our starters at wide receiver. At tight end, this comes at no surprise. Dave Casper is the tight end, and he was unquestionably the leader of this Raiders offense in the dream season. Look at the stats, and it is very impressive. 62 catches, 1,016 yards, and a whopping 12 touchdown catches, and a 16.3 yards per carry or catch average, which is comparable to wide receivers in this dream season. Deadly combination out there. Moving on to the defense for the AFC, we'll take a quick look at the D-line. And the 2 Dolphins players cracked the starting lineup at D-line to go along with the Raiders' John Matizak and the Bills' Jay Wright. At outside linebacker, we have none other than Ted Hendricks. While Hendricks didn't light up the tackle column, he did have 2 interceptions returned for Raider touchdowns, a league high for linebackers. Junior Seau will be our middle linebacker. Seau led the Patriots of both interceptions and tackles to go along with his 2 quarterback sacks. At cornerback, we saw this coming from day one, everybody. Nate Odoms and Skip Thomas will be our starting cornerbacks. Odoms reached an all-impressive landmark of 10 interceptions in the dream season, while Thomas was also a huge part of the Raiders' defense with 6 picks of his own. This is a cornerback tandem only the dream season can replicate. We have 2 of the best safeties also in the big business playing deep for this defense. Free safety Jack Tatum was undoubtedly first in the league in big hits this year, but he also intercepted 5 quarterback passes. At strong safety, Lonnie Smith of the Bills also cracked the starting lineup, and this AFC also has a very impressive All-Pro Special Teams lineup with kicker Steven Gostkowski and punter Ray Guy. This special teams bunch will also be coached by our very own John Madden, which was the Raiders' great back in the 70s. So there is your very own SportsCenter special. Please tune in to Wild Card Weekend coming up this week to go along with the top 10 countdown. Going from number 6 to number 4 should be very exciting. All coming up later in this week. For Nick Rice and Phil Nunziata to go along with Jim Cantori and our entire SportsCenter crew, thank you for watching, and so long regular season. Hello to the playoffs. Take care.